Okay, so in this video, I just want to take a quick look at how to get rid of red eye and how to whiten teeth. All right, so here goes. So what we'll find is that blue eyes tend to have more red eye than brown eyes. And so what we want to take a look at here is how do we get rid of that pink eye, that red eye, not pink eye, that red eye. And what we're going to find in Photoshop CS5, there's actually a very easy tool to do just this. If we come over to where the healing brush tool is, we'll see that we have the Redeye tool right in here. And what we want to do when we're working with this is we want to just zoom in. And a lot of times when we're working with photographs, we want to find ourselves zooming in. Now, let's actually check our image size here too. We come to image size and we'll find that this is actually, there's a lot of pixels that we can work with here. This is 4,000 pixels by 3,000 pixels, 300 ppi. The higher the resolution, the more there is to work with. When we open a photo in Photoshop, we're going to find that our first layer is always locked. So what I want to do here, just so we can see the changes that we make, let's just duplicate this layer. We'll say OK. And now we have one layer on top of another. Now if I wanted to just work with this layer, I would just take this and I'd put it in the trash, and now it's no longer locked. Okay, so what I do to get rid of the red eye, it's actually very, very simple. I can come on in here, I can say, okay, the pupil size, I'm going to say 50%, darken amount, and we'll try different things. So all I do very easily, and again, sometimes you just want to click it on in here, and I want to grab my Redeye tool, and I want to just click on that red, and voila, it's that easy. Okay, so again, let's just play around a little bit here and say, okay, maybe I just wanted to darken it about 30%. Right, so we can see the difference between the two. And again, we can play around with pupil size. A lot's going to really depend on the photograph that we're working with in order to get rid of the the red eye. So there we go. Now, the fact that I didn't darken that as much, darken amount, I put it down to 33%, was to show that, you know, this image is actually, this person actually has blue eyes. All right, so let's take a look at the teeth. So if I wanted to whiten these teeth, what could I do? Well, the first thing that I'm going to want to do is just actually make a selection of these teeth. And the way that I could do that is I could come on over here and just get my quick selection tool, and I can click, 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 click. Now, what happened though too is I might want to try this again. I might want to lower my pixel size, and again, so much is going to depend on what image you work with. And I might want to come in and say, all right, I want to select these teeth. Now, what happens though if you can't really get that good of a selection? Well, there's a couple different things that you could do, right? You could go, the best thing that I would say to get a really exact selection is to do a quick mask. So I have a couple of videos on quick mask, but I'm going to just do a quick review of how quick mask works. When you're working with a quick mask, you just come to the bottom of your toolbar and you hit edit in quick mask. Okay, now I'm going to double click this and I can see that my masked areas I have as being this color, and I'm going to actually change it because it's kind of hard to see. There's a lot of red on the shirt around you, so I'm going to change it to blue. You can change this around. Okay, I'm going to hit OK. Okay, now I'm going to click this again, and I can see that everything is blue except for what is in the mask, except for what is not, what is my selection. Okay, so now let's say I wanted to just get rid of, like, there's these little touches of the gums in there, and I don't want them to be whitened too. So what I could do is I could add those to my masked area. I want to take those away from my selection, add them to my masked area. All right, so what I would do is I would put the black, whenever you want to take away from your selection, you put the black on the top. When you want to add to your selection, you put the white up on top. You come and you get the brush tool, which is right here, and I can zoom in. Now, again, there's a lot of times when you work in Photoshop where you're going to find yourself working with 4 pixels. I mean, really, I have times in Photoshop where I'm working with hardly any pixels. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in and I just want to get, I can see those that little pink of the gums in there, and I just want to get rid of that and really get an exact selection. There was just a couple little spots there, and actually I can see it back in here too. All right, so now I can come back. I can see what my selection looks like. All right, and I think I have a pretty decent selection here. Now, let's say if I come to the back, there's actually some teeth back in here. In order to take away from my selection, I'll put the white up on top. So and we can see as I come back in here, I'm saying, oh, I want these pixels to be in here. I can click and see, and I have all of those in there. Now, if I wanted to whiten these teeth, and this is pretty much how it works, okay? These teeth are all right in here. I could do a couple different things. There's a lot of different ways to do this. I come to image, I could come to adjustments, and I could say brightness and contrast. Okay, I could hit the preview on there. Okay, and this one actually isn't working too well. There we go. All right, let's say okay. But the one that I think would actually probably work the best would be if you come to image, adjustment, and if we come to the levels, actually let's go to the curves. We come to image, adjustment, and we come to the curves, okay, we can click onto here and work with kind of whitening these up a little bit. Okay, deselect. Okay, and I'll just turn this off. All right, and we can see the difference, right? It's more subtle. But again, we don't want to overdo things too. Let's go in and when we look at this image over in here, we can see that there's no pink eye, but let's go through and whiten another set of teeth. Okay, and again, we don't want to overdo it, but I'm just going to go through those steps one more time and even show you another way that we could go about whitening teeth. So we can come in, we can get a quick selection. Again, if I want to add to the selection, I can go into my quick mask. A lot of times we're going to find ourselves really zooming in, and that's why I like to have the copy underneath so I can say, okay, it looks like this, it looks like that. All right, so I want to put the black up on top. I want to zoom in even further, and I want to just get on in here and cover up these pixels. So again, what I'm doing right now is I am actually adding 4 pixels at a time now to my selection. I can see right where these gums are because I can see that they're actually pink. Okay, so much is zooming in, zooming out, zooming in, zooming out. I would definitely recommend that a really good keyboard shortcut to learn is the zoom. On the Mac, it's Command plus, Command minus. And I probably could up my my brush right here so I could get through this pretty quickly. Okay, let me take a look at my selection. Now I could even add a little bit more to it, but I think this one will do. Now, what will happen is the only thing that will get changed is the color inside there. Now, I actually might, and I'm going to be particular. Why not, right? What I would recommend to do is, as I look right in here, I can see that I want to get rid of some of those gums are kind of included, and I want to get rid of those. So I'm going to actually, one more time, I'm going to lower my brush. I'm going to go down to 3 pixels. And I'm going to come in. I'm just going to get this little touch right in some of these areas just to show it's a little bit more realistic. Okay. All right, just a little touch of something. Okay, so what else could I do? I could come into image, adjustments, and we could come to hue saturation. We could look at vibrance too. So let's actually take a look at hue saturation. Okay, so we could actually even just come to lightness. I know, but again, I want to be sure that I don't. All right, and we can see that difference just right there. Okay, I just lighten them a little bit. Now I'm going to show you another thing. I just went back one, and you can see in your history panel, you can continue to go back. What else we could do is you could even, and I don't think this works as well, but you can also do this. You can just go and grab a paintbrush. You could get the color white. and just lower the opacity, maybe to about 45%, 48%. Let's actually lower the flow too to about 60%, about there. And we could get just a bigger brush. And I'm just going to do, I want it to be big, because what you're going to find is as I do this, all right, see what, it doesn't affect anything behind it. We can turn this off, oops, and we can see the difference. Now, what happened there though is sometimes the darker area gets lost and it doesn't look so realistic. So maybe even what we want to do is lower the opacity even a little bit more and see what it looks like. Yeah, I think that that's a little bit more, works a little bit better. And we can see what we've done is we have lightened 2 sets of teeth and gotten rid of red eye. We can move on to the 3rd tooth, and we'll leave it with that. Thanks for listening.